Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great big, beautiful blue globe floating through the void of Yah's creation. It's Tuesday, the 25th of March, 2026. I don't know what to say, folks. This is going to be a real difficult show. Pay attention, folks. You're not going to be happy about this one. All right, welcome to the Tuesday edition of the WTF Reports. I'm your host, Dave vonKleist, and oh boy, this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Wave Watch. I want to get that, out of the way, get that clear. If you haven't checked out the Wave Watch, please do so. You go to TheWTFReports.com, and the pop-up window will take you to an area where you can learn all about these frequencies that are so beneficial to the body and so detrimental to the bugaboos that might invade it. So, Tesla told us frequency is everything. Royal Raymond Rife figured out how to use those frequencies for the benefit of humanity. And, of course, his technology was suppressed for many, many years, but it's been rediscovered. It's resurfaced. And Linda Banber has figured out how to shrink those frequencies down into the size of a wristwatch. You really need to check this out, folks. Go to our website, TheWTFReports.com, and check out the Wave Watch. And if you decide to purchase, you will save $100 if you use the promo code, and it'll automatically be applied if you order through the website. So please visit our website, TheWTFReports.com, and get a Wave Watch. Okay, where do we start? Okay, there are so many people in this country and around the world, I must say, that have been convinced, they've been bamboozled, they've been flim-flammed, they've been brainwashed, they've been convinced that Zionism is a wonderful thing, and that if you and if anybody dares to criticize Zionism, of course, you must hate the Jews. Okay? That's the way it works. And the Anti-Defamation League, which I not so lovingly call the Anti-Defecation League because they're full of crap, and Jonathan Greenblatt, I tell you, he is the enemy of humanity, along with everybody else that is pushing that narrative. But I mean, just to be clear, Zionism is political dogma. Judaism is a religion. Okay, we're not talking apples and oranges here. We're talking apples and adjustable wrenches. Okay, they're two totally different things. And just to be clear, so folks can understand what Zionism is, okay, it was spelled out in the Balfour Declaration about creating a national state for a Zionist state for the Jewish. And they were going to take Palestine and give it to this group. And by the way, I remind you that 98%, or actually I should say 97.5, not quite 3%, closer to 2%, of the people who claim to be Jews are actually Jews. I mean, the 97%, the overwhelming majority, are not Jews. They are imposters. But anyway, that's a whole different conversation. I want to clarify what Zionism is, okay? Maybe we should all join hands and all become Zionists. Let's turn the entire United States into the United Zionist States of America. Now, what would that mean? That would mean we would take certain states and designate them a state, a state for a particular group. For example, let's say we were going to turn California into the California Zionist state. So the Catholic Zionist state of California. So all the Catholics could move to California, and if you're not a Catholic, you have to leave. And not only do you have to leave everything behind. Leave your home, leave your possessions, and when the Catholics show up to occupy your home, and if you don't leave, they get to kill you. Yeah, that's how Zionism works. So we'll have a Zionist Catholic state of California. We'll have a Zionist state, a Protestant state in, say, Oregon. Okay, if you're Protestant, you get to go to Oregon and take over someone's house, and if they refuse to leave, you get to kill them. Yeah. Okay, New York. Oh, well, let's turn that into the Zionist LGBTQXYZ state of New York. So if you're part of that group, You go to New York, and if you're not part of the LGBTQXYZ, plus, minus, plus, you have to leave and leave everything behind. And if you refuse to do so, they get to kill you. Now, that's what Zionism is. Let that sink in. Okay? And if you're opposed to it, you're obviously an anti-Semite, right? That makes a whole lot of sense, doesn't it? But that's basically what it is. Let's turn, Florida into the Baptist Zionist state of Florida. You're Baptist? Go to Florida. If you're not Baptist, get the hell out, leave everything behind, and if you protest and refuse to do so, they get to kill you. That's what Zionism is, folks. Now, I know I'm oversimplifying, and some people say, Dave, that's stupid, that's crazy, that's this and that. I'm sorry. It's deeds, not words. And if we're going to look at Israel, or shall I say Palestine, as an example, and what they're doing there, it spells it right out. If you're not one of their Jewish brethren, you have to leave. And we're not talking just Palestine. We're talking Jordan. We're talking Yemen. We're talking Lebanon. We're talking all of the countries that are touched by the plan for greater Israel. And that includes parts of Egypt and Saudi Arabia as well. So how do you think all those residents of all those other countries are going to feel when, the Zionism kicks in and they have to leave, and if you don't like it, they get to kill you? That's what it comes down to. And I know people are going to say, oh, Dave, you're a hater. You're this, you're that. No, I don't want to see what's playing out. Now, things are really getting sick. Now, we could get into this discussion about the war in Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, and we could talk about the insider trading, how Trump says he's gonna bomb the snake snot out. Then I'm going to give it a 5-day window. Meanwhile, people who are listening to Trump on a Friday night, he says this, and then they go and they either buy or they sell a whole snot load of stocks. And then on Monday he comes on, I'm going to give it a 5-day window. Shoot, they just made $4 trillion, billion, gazillion dollars. So I don't know what the heck is going on. Some people are saying, this is the plan. You got to trust the plan. Yeah, Trump's going to, he's going to get rid of all the deep staters and the globalists and all that. Really? I'm sorry, folks. I'm not buying it. We know the Georgia Guidestones, which were destroyed a couple of years ago. We know that was the number one tenet of this globalist agenda, was to, quote, maintain the human population at no more than 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. That's only 500 million people that they want to have walk in the face of the earth. So what are we going to do with the other 8 billion people? Well, maybe it's time for humanity to have a culling. Yeah, by any means necessary. By hokey-pokey thingy-dingies, by 5G, by graphene oxide, lipid particles, war, okay, bioweapons, who knows? But anyway, this is going to be a difficult show. I spent a good 2 hours editing because there's so many upset people. And yes, when you're upset, yeah, your tongue will say certain things, effing this and effing that, and I had to edit the snake snot out of a bunch of these comments. But right off the bat, I don't know. I'm upset, but then again, it's sort of like, okay, we sort of expected this, but maybe not playing out like this. But anyway, these monsters, absolute satanic monsters, these God's chosen people. God's chosen people. Really? All right, well, I'll tell you what. Let's listen to a couple of people who are discussing a particular situation involving a 10-month-old baby. Listen to this.
In order to get a man to confess to some BS charges that they made up, God's chosen people took his 1-year-old son and tortured him for 10 hours. They put cigarettes out on this baby. They drove a nail through his leg. After 10 hours, the baby was released, I believe, to his mother, but the father is still detained. If they could do this to a 1-year-old, imagine what they are doing to the hundreds of children being detained in their torture chambers, to the adults being detained in their torture chambers.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right now. The hundreds? No. The thousands of people who are being detained in the Israeli prisons. Now, there's estimations. We don't know what the real numbers are, but we know it's somewhere between 5 and 10,000 detainees. And they are suffering this type of activity. Many of them are children, by the way. Okay, let's continue.
God's chosen people. They bombed over 100 medical facilities in Lebanon. They're killing medics and doctors there.
Okay, they bombed Lebanon, okay? We're not talking about Palestine or Gaza or West Bank right now. They're bombing the snake's knot out of Lebanon. God's chosen people. Targeting civilian housing, buildings, hospitals, you know it. Same MOA, what is it, method of, whatever it is. Oh, let's continue.
Know what they've done to Gaza. They're killing Palestinians in the West Bank. They have no problem burning people alive, starving children. These people are evil, God's chosen people. And now they're all over social media asking the world to pray for them as they are under attack. Oh, I will pray. I will pray that every missile finds its target.
Ooh, them's tough words. Well, you know what? There are a lot of people that are, hoping for the same thing. Because we've been witnessing a genocide in real time in 4K for years now. And, of course, we all just had our attention drawn to it because of October 7th, 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 which was an inside job. Charlie Kirk saw it. So many other of us saw it. October 7th, just put that in the same category as 6 million, Holocaust, God's chosen people, God's chosen people, God's chosen people, God's chosen people, God's chosen people. October 6th, Holocaust, 6 million, Holocaust, God's chosen people. October 7th. That's the way it works. A lie told often enough becomes a truth. So yeah, there's a lot of people now that are saying, wait a second, wait 1 GD minute. God's chosen people? How could they do this to a baby? Well, it depends on who their God is. Here's another installment about that particular situation involving a 10-month-old baby.
I've had to do this video a few times to police my emotions. I just posted the video of Jawad Nasser, the baby, less than 2 years old, who the Israeli occupation forces, the IDF, put out cigarettes on a baby's legs, less than 2 years old. They put out cigarettes on a baby's legs. I work with Save the Children. Big part of my life is on trying to protect children. What do you expect us to do when we see this? Who does this? There are rules even in the fog of the primal violence of man. The devil would look away.
Yeah.
We smile when we see children. Imagine the person whose soul is so lost that they feel they can put out cigarette butts on a baby. We must never normalize this. We must never debate this. I hope what I'm saying is acceptable to everyone from every walk of life. You do not torture children. You don't do it. This is not a debate. And there must be no impunity in regards to this crime. No impunity.
No impunity. I agree. And just keep in mind that this concept of Zionism and these God's chosen people, remember, if you're not one of them, if you're not on board, and if you're a Christian, or if you're a Muslim, or if you're a Buddhist, or if you're an agnostic, or if you're an atheist, doesn't make any difference. If you're not 100% on board with them, then you need to die. That's in their book. That's what they believe. And I've said it 100 times on this show. It doesn't make any difference what you believe. It doesn't make any difference what I believe. What makes a difference is what they believe. Anyway, we have another comment about this torture of a 10-month-old baby.
This video is for all the fucking assholes who still support the only shitocracy in the Middle East, and it's a trigger warning for everybody else.
Okay, like I said, I was editing for a while. I had to take the F-bombs out, but unfortunately some of the the fecal bombs, they stayed in there, so I apologize. But there's a lot of emotion behind this, and damn well there should be. When are we going to wake up and say, look at this bullcrap about God's chosen people? It's a cover, because they're liars, they are deceivers, and and they even tell you, the IDF and the Mossad's motto, by means of deception we shall make war. They are commanded to lie and deceive. That's what their law is, what their commandment is. Bible be damned, Old Testament be damned. No 10 commandments for us. That's because they don't go by the 10 commandments. They go by the Talmud. And of course, by Ursula von der Leyen, she says, Europe has the values of the Talmud. Again, a lie told often enough becomes the truth. All right, I don't mean to keep interrupting, but there's a lot of passion, a lot of emotion behind there. And yes, people around the world are waking up, and they're rooting for Iran. And the United States, Trump, the Congress, the Senate, Ted Cruz, Mike Huckabee, Lindsey Graham, all the others who have been taking money, sucking on the teat of the AIPAC and all the other lobbying groups. They've either been bribed, paid off, blackmailed, or they've been coerced and said, if you don't play ball, we're going to kill your family. That's the way it works. Anyway, let's continue with this clip. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Let's start over here. Sorry about
this. This video is for all the fucking assholes who still support the only shitocracy in the Middle East, and it's a trigger warning for everybody else. The most putrid bucket of shit army in the world kidnapped and tortured a 1-year-old baby for 10 hours. I know some of you chutias must be going like, but why did they do it? Maybe there was a reason. Maybe there was a justification. I can tell you why. They did it because of assholes like you. Because assholes like you support a terrorist state.
And he's talking about anybody who supports Israel. That's who he's talking about.
And this is terrorism. Make no mistake about it. Killing people is not terrorism. Kidnapping a 1-year-old baby to terrorize their parents, that is real terrorism. And it is state-sanctioned. They say it themselves. So by definition and extension, a society of people that supports a government that implements torture as a policy is a terrorist society. Mm-hmm. And I think we can all agree that a terrorist state should not exist. Everybody agrees on that. Even you guys agree that state-sponsored terrorism should not exist. All you need to do is look in the mirror and go like, oh shit, it's us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately. So all you people out there supporting Israel, sending them money, sending them bombs, tanks, F-15s, whatever, you are the problem. Every damn one of you. Now, there's a lot of emotion going on about this story that is broken here, but hopefully this might serve as the straw that broke the camel's back. I hope and pray that it does. And here's one more installment on this particular issue, and this woman was very upset. And any woman who sees a baby being tortured should be equally upset. There's no way to explain away. There's no reason that this could happen. There's no justification for this type of activity. Okay, brace yourself.
I am so fucking floored right now over this news story that came out today about Israel torturing a 10-month-old baby to get information out of his dad.
There will come a day when people are going to look back on this and everything that's happening and everything that has happened, and people are going to be like, what the fuck were you guys doing? Like, how did you let this happen? It was like over a year ago that the IDF evacuated a hospital, and the healthcare workers were saying, like, we have to, like, get these babies out of the ICU, and the soldiers were like, no, like, you guys need to evacuate, like, we'll take care of it, we'll get all of them out. And then when they finally let the press in and they went back to that hospital, there were literally fucking dead babies just laying in those beds with empty bottles next to them. Like, this fucking military, these soldiers are fucking brainwashed. Like, they will fucking leave babies to die. They will torture infants. Like, it's not just Netanyahu, it's not just the government, it's not just, like, a couple of crazy people in Israel. Like, this entire fucking military, their entire society is fucking sick. And then they are trying to tell us that Iran is, like, we should be scared of Iran. Like, that's our number one enemy. That's, like, the biggest threat in the world right now. Like, are you insane? They have already, like, they're trying to do the same fucking thing in Lebanon that they've been doing in Gaza for years now. Like, well, the whole entire world just lets this happen. Like, they literally want to take over the entire fucking region and do the same thing and make us think that we need to be afraid of Iran and Lebanon. Like, literally do not fucking believe any of the propaganda that they are using to justify this. Like, they literally want to take over the entire fucking region and make it all theirs. Like, we're watching, like, modern day Hitler shit happen right now. And I don't know what it accomplishes, me posting this on the fucking internet, but I don't know what else to do. And honestly, no one should fucking be silent about this. Like, I don't know why this story in particular, like, sends me over the edge, because, like, they have been doing demonic shit for fucking years and decades, but I don't know how it cannot send someone over the fucking edge. Like, everyone should be fucking horrified right now. And like I said, do not fucking believe any of the propaganda that they're telling us about why they need to go and bomb the fucking shit out of the entire region.
Do not let a country that tortures babies let you think that you need to be afraid of Iran, that you need to be afraid of Lebanon. Everyone in the entire world should be fucking terrified of continuing to allow Israel to do whatever the fuck they want and go unchecked. So, fuck the UN, fuck the International Court of Justice, fuck the International Criminal Court, fuck every single person in power that has let this go on for as long as it has.
Tell us how you really feel, huh? Yeah, well, this is standard operating procedure by those in the IDF and the entire Israeli culture. And yes, I wouldn't, I'm not going to say that all Israelis are behind this. There are, a great number of Israelis that see how horrible this is, and that's why they're out and demonstrating and protesting. But unfortunately, those who are in power, those who are pulling the strings, they really do believe that they're justified. They really do believe that they are a superior race. They do believe that. It's in their Talmud. If you're not one of them, you are less than a dog. You are not a human. Which is why in their minds, they justify what they're doing and they don't pay attention to the Human Rights Council at the UN. Because after all, we're not killing humans. We're killing dogs. That's their belief. They've actually convinced them of that. And they've got classes in Israel where they teach the students there how to act like Persians. They learn the language of Iran, they learn the cultures of Iran, they learn the music of Iran, they sing along, they clap, and they are being groomed and trained to infiltrate Iran. As a matter of fact, it's come out now that, we heard about all these protests and about how the Iranian police were shooting down protesters and all that. Well, you know what? The protesters were instigated and infiltrated by Mossad agents. That's a fact. Of course, the mainstream media won't tell you that, but it's all over the internet. They've even admitted it. Yes, we send Mossad agents. We send IDF agents over there that have been trained to infiltrate and blend in with the Iranian culture. And then at the time of our calling, we set them loose. That's how they work it. And again, how can they get away with it? Why do they do this? By means of deception, thou shalt make war. That's why. And in the meantime, there are people speaking out and screaming from the rooftops and have been doing so for a long time. I've got several clips here from Francesca Albanese And well, let me see. Before I get to her, I'm going to go to Courtney Boneo. She's an independent journalist, and she's in southern Lebanon, and she's been reporting about the strikes that Israel has been making into Lebanon, hitting apartment buildings, hospitals, schools, infrastructures. That's what's going on in southern Lebanon right now. Israel has not stopped. They're not going to stop. It's because that's what they do. Here's Courtney Bonigo. Here it is.
Hi, I'm reporting to you from the city of Sur, from the site of an Israeli bombing that happened about an hour and a half ago. As you can see here, it's still on fire. And this is actually the 17th airstrike today. And as you can see, this is a residential area. These are people's homes. And targeting civilian infrastructure is a war crime. Per the Lebanese Ministry of Health, there have been over 1,000 people killed since March 2nd, including a 15-year-old boy who was executed today in the town of Halta. He was executed at point-blank range by IDF soldiers who entered the town of Halta and shot him in the head. What was that?
Oh, yeah. She had to stop because there was another explosion. Can you smell the stench of hypocrisy? Can you see or feel the irony? As a matter of fact, she was just explaining what these are crimes against humanity. But you know what? Now that Israel is on the receiving end of that, they're screaming bloody murder. Here's some guy in Tel Aviv. It says here there was a ballistic missile hit in the middle of a residential neighborhood. This is what happened today in Tel Aviv. Day after day, we're witnessing war crimes by the Iranian regime, and the world continues its indifference. It's not indifference. We're witnessing payback. Here's this Israeli guy describing the damage in Tel Aviv.
Just this morning, an Iranian ballistic missile hit here in Tel Aviv. Look at the damage. But wait, I want to show you something crazy. Over here, there was a whole building that Israel, the authorities, had to take it down because after the explosion, it's not possible to live in it anymore. As you saw, the total destruction here is massive. And this neighborhood specifically is a neighborhood that has a lot of families with kids.
Oh.
And those kids go to this elementary school. While we targeted terrorists, specific terrorists, the IRGC is actually targeting a civilian neighborhood, families with kids, homes, schools, war crimes after war crimes after war crimes. And get this, not only the fact that they're attacking civilians, but the fact that they already launched over 200 ballistic missiles with cluster ammunition. This is itself another war crime.
Well, yeah. Well, how about the phosphorus, the white phosphorus that you guys have been dumping on the Palestinians? So now when you're on the receiving end, you scream war crimes. But no, don't say a word when you leveled Gaza, completely razed it. I mean, every school, every hospital, every university, every piece of infrastructure, every home, every apartment building, gone. Tens of thousands, uncounted, buried beneath the rubble. Oh, but that's okay. That's okay. That's because we're bombing Palestinians, and they aren't even human. They are less than dogs. So it doesn't make any difference. We can do that. But now that you're on the receiving end of that, you want some sympathy? Seriously? Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to see anybody getting bombed or killed or anything like that. I'm a child of the 60s and 70s. All you need is love. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get to... Okay, look at, I'm not idealistic anymore. But the bottom line here is that it's playing out, and I mean, the hypocrisy. If you can't see it, then you choose not to see it. Anyway, I'm taking a quick break. Here we go.
Get More Tank will save you money every month on gas. Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code REDPILL101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary.
And you can get more tank by run screaming to your computer and go to our website, TheWTFReports.com. Click on the sponsors button and it'll take you down to an area where you can read all about the specifications and details of Get More Tank, why and how this fuel catalyst works so well in your car or truck. Diesel or gas, doesn't make any difference. Depending upon your driving habits and your make, model, year of vehicle, you will enjoy between 15 and 20% improved mileage. And I don't need to tell you what's going on at the gas pumps right now. So it doesn't make any difference, what kind of vehicle that you drive. This is a no-brainer, folks. It's a no-brainer. You should be using Get More Tank from day one. So please, try it out. You'll be glad that you did. You'll see better power, better engine performance. Your engine runs cleaner, and you're going to get more out of every drop of fuel. So go to our website, TheWTFReports.com, and get more tank! All right, let's see. It's 37 minutes past the hour, whatever hour you're sitting in, and I'm on a bit of a rant today because it's becoming so obvious and so apparent, so blatantly in your face that Israel is mad. They're insane. Their culture is that way. As a matter of fact, Norm Finkelstein has even basically said that. They kill kids as a hobby. Seriously. I've seen T-shirts. A T-shirt with a silhouette of a pregnant woman with crosshairs on it. And underneath it says, 1 shot, 2 kills. This is the mentality. This is what America, what Trump and your Congress and your Senate are supporting, and your tax dollars are supporting. And we've been doing it for years and years and years and years. And how do they get away with it? What kind of control have they got over our Congress and our Senate? Well, why do you think people are calling this the Epstein War? That's what it's all about. And again, when you're dealing with a controversy, a scandal of horrendous proportions, you need to create a distraction that's even bigger. And I'll tell you, the Epstein controversy, the Epstein blackmail, the Epstein honeypot stuff, this is so huge. It is so big. It's covering up Satanism. Talmudism. That's what it's all about. And those who are involved and behind those nefarious activities don't want to be exposed, and they're willing to sacrifice the entire world than to have them face justice. This is a disease of the heart, mind, and spirit of humanity. And this is a battle for humanity. You want to call it the Battle of Armageddon? Well, so be it. This could be the prerequisite. And and the thing is, if you're not Jewish, if you're a Christian or an agnostic or, a Muslim, doesn't make any difference, because these people will come for you too. And they've already taken over most of our country. As a matter of fact, a Jewish economist by the name of Paul Krugman basically said the real craziness comes from rural white Americans, that they feel they are losing their country. He says they're right. In the end, they are not the future. These insane people are literally wanting to take over the country. They've done a pretty damn good job of it at this point. But if you're out there in rural America, if you're going to some Zionist Christian church, you got to wake the hell up, and wake the hell up yesterday. Here's Paul Krugman.
The real craziness comes, if you like, from rural white Americans who feel that they're losing their country, they're losing ownership of the country. And they're right. I mean, we are becoming more diverse, more multicultural, and they are, in the end, they are not the future. In the end, the power they still have will go away. But
it will just go away. Yeah. And again, this is not me saying it. You heard it right from his mouth. That's Paul Krugman. This is their goal. They want it all. They want every single bit of it. Anyway, there's even more. There's even more. Let me see. Getting back to this issue about 1 shot, 2 kills. Norm Finkelstein, who is, of course, Jewish, and he's been screaming about the crimes of Israel for years. Here's what he was saying about Israel's hobby. Yeah, they have a hobby. Yeah.
The IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, they kill children as a hobby. As a hobby. The problem is not Netanyahu. The problem is the whole of Israeli society.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the polls, half of Israeli Jews believe Israel should commit a genocide in Gaza. That's what the polls show. About 70 to 75% in polls say there are no innocents in Gaza. No innocents.
There's nothing but children.
Yeah. The IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, they kill children as a hobby. As a hobby. The problem is not Netanyahu. The problem is the whole of Israeli society.
Okay, yeah, it started to replay. I didn't realize that. But he's right. He's right. As a matter of fact, we've got, let me see if I can find it. I didn't make a recording of it. Let me see. Where is it here? Let me see. Oh gosh, here's a little boy. Oh gosh, here's a little boy screaming in Arabic about. Let me see. I could play it here. Hold on a second here. Okay. Yeah. Basically, he says they killed my mother, and before that, my brother. I urge everyone, do not go to the American aid distribution points soaked in blood. This bag only contains 2 empty flour sacks, nothing else. And yet they shot and killed my mother as she tried to get us something to eat today. And as he's speaking, he's opening up his backpack and he's pulling out the 2 blood-soaked flour sacks. God's chosen people. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Well, guess what? Here's another quick clip. A couple of Israelis explaining what their attitude towards the Palestinians are. You think this is not a systemic problem? Listen to this.
No, they don't deserve it. What I care? Kill them. I don't care.
She says, kill them. I don't care.
No, I know all about them. I don't trust them. I want them out of here.
What do you think should happen to Gaza?
I want to be civilized with Jews from Israel.
Okay, she was just saying, as far as Gaza is concerned, I want it to be civilized with as Israel. Okay, now here's another Israeli basically explaining what his feelings are.
As the Bible says, this place is for us. It's promised for us, so they can starve to death to pay on the things that they've done to us on the 7th of October.
There it is, 7th of October again. So again, we're talking about an entire group of people that have been brainwashed. And again, the 7th of October, there it is again, October 7th, Holocaust, 6 million, God's chosen people, October 7th. October 7th was done, was allowed to happen by Netanyahu. And like I said, Charlie Kirk pointed it out. A stand-down order Why did it take 12 hours for them to respond? Why are there videos now that were taken from IDF helicopters where they were shooting all those concert goers? Those videos are out there. It was, I don't know. I just don't get it how people can possibly support Israel when this is all right in your face. Now, one stalwart, one woman, some people are calling her Joan of Arc because she has been standing up and screaming from the rooftops, and she's done so, as they say, no good deeds go unpunished. They tried to sanction her, etc., etc. Francesca Albanese. I've got several clips here from her. I'm going to let you hear what she had to say about this.
4,000 remain forcibly disappeared. Thousands detained without charge, held in inhuman conditions, beaten, shackled, sexually abused, denied medical care, starved, raped. Israel has effectively been given a license to torture Palestinians because most of your government, your ministers have allowed it. It is thanks to the courage of torture survivors and the Palestinians and Israeli NGOs who helped document their inferno if the truth has today reached this room. Hence, I have decided to lend my voice to them, to the survivors. Quote, on the fourth day in prison, an Israeli soldier threw food on the floor, which was only Lebanon, yelling, eat off the ground, you Hamas horse, just like animals, end of quote. Quote, the assaults were violent with batons and boots, leaving prisoners bleeding on the ground. They would beat prisoners, force them to insult each other and even howl like animals, end of quote. Quote, they unleashed police dogs on us again, allowing them to tear into our flesh. One dog attacked a fellow detainee and started mauling his genitals. He bled to death in my arms. A doctor shielded in a cage examined him from a distance and said, throw him outside, end of quote. Quote, one of the soldiers raped me by violently inserting a wooden stick into my anus. After about a minute, he removed it and inserted it again more forcefully while I screamed loudly. Then he forced me to open my mouth and lick the stick, end of quote. Quote, they put me on a metal table, pressed my chest and head against it, cuffed my hands to the end of the bed, and pulled my legs apart forcefully. I felt a penis penetrating my anus and a man raping me. I started screaming, and they beat me on my back and head while I was blindfolded. I felt the man who was raping me ejaculate inside my anus. I kept screaming and being beaten, and I could hear a camera, so I believed they were filming me. I cannot describe what I felt. I wished for death every moment. End of quote. In Israel, authorities openly boast about the sadistic treatment inflicted on Palestinian detainees, while journalists and other civilians have been granted access to witness and even film their humiliation. Officials caught on camera sodomizing a Palestinian detainee with a knife are publicly celebrated. The criminal charges against them were recently dropped. And my report also shows that torture extends far beyond the prison walls in what can only be described as a torturous environment imposed by Israel across the entire occupied Palestinian territory.
Isn't that interesting? Yep. Well, that's just one a presentation that she gave. I have another one here.
Torture is the hallmark of this genocide. Israeli soldiers have beaten, humiliated, filmed while stripped naked and sodomized Palestinian detainees, men, women, children. They have broken both bones, skulls, teeth. They've raped with metal objects, with knives, with dogs, defenseless
God's
humans.
chosen people.
International law is unambiguous. Torture and genocide are absolutely prohibited. Standing for Palestine today means standing for justice and standing for what remains of the United Nations system as it's being dismantled from the ground. The critical findings of this report are two. One is that Israel has used torture as an instrument to subjugate and destroy the Palestinians as such, because no one can return to his or her life after enduring what Palestinians have endured over the past 900 days in Israeli dungeon. The second, that Israel has imposed a torturous environment on all Palestinians, those behind bars and those outside bars, starvation, some demolitions, mass killing, and all the other crimes that Palestinians have endured constitute an extreme form of physical and mental suffering endured by the people as such. This is genocide, and genocide is torture.
Yes, it is. Absolutely it is. And again, Francesca, she doesn't stop. God bless her.
The testimonies that I and many others are documenting are not just tragic stories of suffering. They are evidence of atrocity crimes targeting the totality of the Palestinian people, across the totality of the occupied Palestinian land, through a totality of criminal conduct. Hence, I concluded that genocide has become the ultimate form of torture. Continuous, generational, collective. The way you respond to this abomination will be a test of our collective legal and moral responsibility. International law is unambiguous. Torture is absolutely prohibited in all circumstances, and so is genocide. Under both the Torture and the Genocide Conventions, all parties have the obligation to prevent, stop, and punish these crimes. The choice before you is stark. Either the prohibition of genocide and torture remains a binding legal norm, for it Israel's leaders must be held accountable together with those who stand behind them.
Stand by, caller.
It will stand exposed as an empty promise. And together with the millions who still believe in the universality of human rights, I say to you again, disregard for international law will not stop in Palestine. It is already unfolding. From Lebanon to Iran, across the Gulf countries, and in Venezuela. And if left unchecked, it will spread far beyond.
That's right, it will. So if you think it's not coming to your neighborhood, eventually it will if it goes unchecked. We got a caller coming in. Be brief, caller. We've only got a couple of minutes. Welcome to the show.
Okay, hi there. I don't know whether you feel like discussing this, but what is the timeline for war?
What is the timeline?
Yes.
I wish I knew.
No. How long do we have to declare war? What's the schedule for that? If we're going to declare war, what is the schedule for doing it?
I have no idea. Are you, Melissa, are you listening to the show at all?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't have an answer for that.
Okay, because there's a certain amount of time that I don't think that you have to declare war before you begin a war, before you strike.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to figure out, once the military action has happened, how long I think that you have less than 3 months, but I can't be more certain than that.
I have no clue. I don't know.
Okay, we're going to have to look into it. Okay, thank you. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you, dear. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, my gosh. All right, let me see. We got a few more minutes left. I have more. I've been doing these clips all morning here, and yeah, it's hard to listen to. But again, one more from Francesca Albanese. Here she is.
Of course it's getting worse. Of course, and this is intentional. The question is why it continues to be so. Why, if the International Court of Justice says that the occupation is unlawful, and member states have an obligation not to aid and assist. The member states have an obligation not to transfer weapons to a state that is committing war crimes, not even bothering the Genocide Convention. How come the member states continue to engage with Israel? This is what you people should look at, because of course, you really need to understand the system we are part of and need to explain to your audience and to your readers. Because Gaza is just the beginning of this new escalatory phase of erasure of Palestinians from what remains of Palestine. And you see, it has already become a doctrine. The full destruction of homes, hospitals, schools. I warned the international community when I presented my Anatomy of Genocide report. If Israel has not stopped, this will become a modus operandi. And 6 months later, Israel was practicing in Lebanon what it had done to Gaza, and now it continues in Lebanon, in Iran, and it will not stay there. So I have no hope whatsoever that the Palestinians in Gaza will be saved if there is no massive intervention to stop Israel. And the most peaceful way to stop Israel is to cut ties, economic ties, military ties, and financial ties with Israel.
And how are we going to get that done in this country? How are we going to stop our government from helping Israel perform these evil deeds? I'm going to leave you with a song that I wrote 25 years ago. 30.
When it's all over, when it's all done, at what cost the battle, what prize has been won, when dark clouds surrender, when the storm is undone, will you stand there shining in the light of the sun? Are your motives worthy? Are your motives true? Are you doing things you would have done to you? Are you really proud of the things that you do? Will you stand there beaming when your life's finally through? When the dawn is just breaking at the end of the night, will you still have freedom? Will you still have rights? Were you proudly hailing through the perilous fight? Did you hide in darkness or try to shed light? When the curtain is closing and your life passes by, will you pleasantly smile, or will you break down and cry? Will you honestly say you gave life your best try? If there's a reason for living, did you ever ask why? Dawn is just breaking at the end of the night. Will you still have freedom? Will you still have rights? Were you proudly hailing through the perilous fight? Did you hide in darkness or try to shed light? As you passed through life, did you seek to grow? Did you hold on tightly, or did you let it all go? Did you look for truth, or did you not want to know? In the final assessment, you will reap what you sow. In the final assessment, you will reap what you sow. In the final assessment, you will reap what you sow.
Yeah, you get what you give, folks. That's the way it works. All right, we're going to be out of here, folks. If you're enjoying the broadcast, please click like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to make a contribution, you can use our GoFundMe button at the website, the WTF Reports. That said, we're all done with this Tuesday edition of the WTF Reports. I thank you for your listenership, and I hope and pray we can wake up not just our country, but the entire world to what's going on. We got to do it, folks. That said, God bless you all. Stay safe, stay free, and God willing, I'll see you tomorrow.